Herald NOW. Auckland's first all-electric ferry is on the water, but getting the megawatt chargers onto the piers to actually charge the thing is running behind schedule at the moment. Funding for more vessels is also uncertain, with much of it now on hold until at least 2028. Technology editor Chris Keall went along to the technical launch yesterday. Have a watch.
From a market perspective, Michael's done a fantastic job of building the EV Maritime brand internationally, and we really are seen as a leading light in the electrification of fast commuter ferry services internationally. Now to have a product on the water with this first vessel for Auckland transport really catapults us right into the leading position. So there are a lot of eyes on us, and the work that we've done on probably 4 or 5 opportunities internationally, those people are watching and they'll be visiting.
And then domestically, we see this really as the beginning of a sort of zero emission future for the Auckland ferry fleet, subject to proving that they work really well and the funding falling in place for that over time.
Chris Keall, our technology editor, is with me at the desk. Chris, good morning.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I noticed about that, it wasn't moving.
Yeah, they've got it into the water, which is great. And I've got a personal stake in this myself. I'm a ferry commuter on one of the 27 current diesel ferries. I mean, they stink. They sound as noisy as 10,000 lawnmowers. So I was really pleased when Fuller's started off this process by putting forward some money for some new electric ferries, and then AT and other agencies taking it over. And it's great to see the first fully electric boat in the water. But now it's got to go through a lot of testing, and they've been very reserved about saying when it will actually be ready for passengers.
Does that mean that actually electrifying ferries is harder than they thought?
Well, they always knew it was going to be a bit tricky. Way back in 2023, they put out a tender for a $28 million tender for chargers, and the Swedish multinational ABB won that contract. This was in 2023, and they said these 4 megawatt chargers would all be ready by December 2024. And one is almost ready at Half Moon Bay, which will be the first route for the first 4 electric ferries. But they Fuller's model is to have 2 ferries crisscrossing, so you really need a charger on either side. But the charger for the downtown terminal only went out to consent in December, and that process is still going on. And we know that Councillor Mike Lee has called it an eyesore, and Heritage NZ has had issues. So this big 2-storey structure with 2 3.3 megawatt chargers, it's still in the consent process, and then the whole process of building it and Vector putting lines into it, and it's going to draw about as much power as Queenstown. It's a major operation.
Wow.
So the first electric ferry could be in operation in about 6 months, and the second one about 6 months after, but how to charge them with those 10-minute top-up charges without the twin chargers, that's going to be tricky.
So is that how much electricity it would take to power them? Is it enough to power Queenstown?
Yeah. That's what I've heard. At a mid-sized town, it's 2 3.3 megawatt chargers at the downtown ferry, so that's quite a major operation. Slightly better news, if not from a pollution point of view, is that 2 of the ferries on the way are hybrids, so they have both electric motors and diesel generators. And Fuller says it would prefer to be able to charge them if AT gets its act together and the government, but as things stand, they'll probably be going back and forth between the city and Devonport using their diesel generators, so it'll be just as noisy and polluting as today.
Right, okay. Well, that's great, isn't it? So basically we're just waiting for Mike Lee to get over the fact that it's an ugly battery and we're an ugly charger and we can get on with it.
Yeah, and I think ideally they should have just kicked off the whole process a couple of years ago, and the other issue is that a lot of the funding they're expecting has sort of disappeared. ECA, the Energy Efficiency Authority, has had its budget halved, and a whole lot of parties who are chipping in have seen funding evaporate.
Government's closed its wallet, so they've got to look elsewhere.
Hard yards.
Chris, appreciate your time this morning. Great
Cheers.
To have the update. Fascinating insight too. Chris Keall, who is with us, he's technology editor at the New Zealand Herald.